I want to talk about translation and a fundamental misunderstanding that some people have about translation and how it works. And this specifically refers to the term Gentiles and how we use it. And the problem is we have people out there who have never studied translation and just don't understand how it works. And so they're out there making claims about it. Now, I don't have a degree in translation, but I have taken courses in it. I have taken Koine Greek, and so I do have a understanding of how this works. And of course, the scholarship is available out there as it pertains to what I'm going to say. And so the argument essentially goes like this. In English, you have the word nation or Gentiles, and they will say, what do those words translate from? So nations and Gentiles, which are plural, translates in Greek from ethne, and in Hebrew from goyim. And they'll say, see, they translate from the same word, so they mean the same thing, and you can use them interchangeably, or some variation of an argument like that. And that's just not true. Just because you have two different English words that translate into one Greek or Hebrew word does not mean the two different English translations are interchangeable or in some way arbitrary. And I'm going to illustrate this by looking at examples where we use a single English word that would translate into multiple Greek words. And so, as an example, there is the English word life. Now, in English, life can translate to bios or zoe. And these two words in Greek have distinct meanings. But in English, they translate life. Similarly, the English word love. In English, we have one word. In Greek, we actually have multiple words with different nuances. And so we translate all of those different words, though, into the one English word. Similarly, the word world. Now, when I say the word world, many people will automatically think of John 3:16 and the word cosmos. And you're absolutely right to think that. But that's not the only Greek word that translates as world. You also have the Greek word oikumene, which can be rendered as just world. And we have, as an example, in Luke chapter 2, verse 1. But here, world doesn't mean all of mankind, as cosmos would in John 3:16. Here, it refers specifically to the Roman Empire, the inhabited world of the Roman Empire that was being taxed. It would not refer to places outside of that. So this shows that just because you have one word in one language, in a source language, that can translate into multiple words in the receptor language, that doesn't mean that the words that it can translate to in the receptor language have strictly the same meaning. Demonstrably, they don't, and it is the same with ethne and goyim. Yes, it can be rendered as nations, and nations can include Israel, but Gentiles is the specific translation that refers to non-Israelites. So, when we look, for example, in Acts chapter 9, verse 15, Jesus is talking about Paul and says that he will bear his name before Gentiles, kings, and the sons of Israel. Well, here, the ethne is expressly distinguished from the sons of Israel. So we know the ethne can't include the sons of Israel. And so, as a result, the rendering is Gentiles. The context demands that it only be referring to non-Israelites. And this really sets a precedent. It establishes what is going to be meant going forward as Paul discusses the ethne and who they are. They are distinct from the sons of Israel. So when we get into Acts 13, when he is in Antioch Pisidia, and he goes first to the Israelites, and they reject him, he says, behold, we are turning to the ethne, the Gentiles. Well, here he's already gone to the Israelites. They have rejected him, so now he turns to the non-Israelites. And we see this pattern, this repetition occur throughout the text as Paul discusses the Gentiles. And so we know what he's referring to. So the argument then that Gentiles and nations mean the same thing is simply fallacious. They don't. Ethne has more than one meaning, and depending upon how it is being used, we translate it accordingly.